the battle over repeal and replace over Obamacare. Joining us right now is Republican Congressman Joe Wilson of South Carolina. Congressman Wilson, we know as of now you support the bill as written. We also learned overnight that the White House may be now willing to support some changes in this bill the conservatives are asking for. Conservatives are asking for perhaps halting the expansion of Medicaid earlier. Cuts to Medicaid earlier, more quickly than before. Would you support those changes?
Well, John, actually, I appreciate what Poppy pointed out. We're living up to the promises we made to repeal Obamacare, and now I appreciate the explanation that we're in a three-step process. We have legislation now. We have the administrative actions that the Secretary of HHS, Tom Price, can make, and subsequent legislation. In fact, this week, Virginia Foxx led the fight on education workforce successfully for Association Health Plan. So we are following through, Poppy, on the promises we made to the American people.
But not totally. If you go with this bill, you're not, because what was promised by the president is a complete repeal of Obamacare, and some of the key parts are going to stay in this bill, and that's why some members of the Freedom Caucus and others don't like this one at all.
And Poppy, you're right, and that's how we've addressed it. But it's three steps, and indeed, to face the requirements of reconciliation, so that we can get anything through the Senate. I'm really grateful. It's step by step, and we're into this, and we're going to fulfill the promises that were made, and we're going to provide a better health care system for the American people that covers everyone, and where they have choices and options with tax credits.
But Congressman, just to be fair, you say we're going to cover everyone. Yes. Brookings came out and said, with this Medicaid expansion, if you do away with it right away, you're going to possibly have 15 million Americans not covered. S&P Global just came out with a report this week, said 10 million Americans might not be covered. Are you sure you can make that promise to the American people?
We can, Poppy, and good people can come up with different definitions, but I know that I'm working with the community health centers in the district that I represent, people who are so talented and truly care about the citizens of our community. So over and over, I see ways to assist persons who need help, and we're going to provide that, but we're also going to repeal Obamacare.
But, Congressman, again, to my very first question here,
yes.
If the Medicaid provisions are changed, rolling back Medicaid more quickly, do you support that change? Do you think it's a good move to get this bill through?
Well, actually, I'm very proud. Governor Nikki Haley, my home governor, pointed out the flaws of the Medicaid expansion. It was not sustainable. So from the beginning, it's not going to work. And so I'm delighted that changes are coming, and we give the give and take, the input from different members of the Republican conference, and hey, bipartisan, I hope too. And we can come up with changes that actually do address the concerns of the American people.
But again, just to get to the core of John's question, do you believe that that solves the problem? Does that, if you sunset the Medicaid expansion, within a year from now it would be, does that help get it through the House? But then what do you do in the Senate with the moderate Republicans?
Well, the good news is it's a legislative process. I'm confident the leadership of Speaker Paul Ryan, we've got extraordinary leadership, that we will get it through the House. And then I look forward to that we have input, obviously, by the U.S. Senate, and then we'll get a bill to the President to repeal Obamacare.
Congressman Joe Wilson of South Carolina, great to have you with us.
Well, thank you. Best wishes.